So I only got a minute to make this for you. The secret to making money, one in a lot of things, is you create offers for people. But some people come to you, no matter what type of business you have, specifically if you have a social media, online, personal brand marketing business, and you're trying to sell courses, info products, or structure, brand deals and sponsorships and affiliate agreements, where brands come to you and you basically align with them and you promote their products and services and softwares and tools on your social media channels. There's a lot to learn about that, and you could quote unquote get screwed and they get tons of benefit. And some of these companies are actually hoping and relying on your naivety so they can get way the better end of the deal. So I'll share something with you real quick. In doing this for years now, I'm still learning myself, but I've learned a lot. The more you understand the legal jargon, the structuring, the contracts, and you know how to negotiate, and you understand, and you've done research, and you learn, and you watch like the movie by Michael Jordan talks about where his mom was actually negotiating on his behalf for Nike that he get a percentage of every single Nike Air Jordan shoe that comes out forever. And they're like, we don't do deals like that. And she's like, well, my Michael, he's a superstar, so that's the way it is. And then they made a deal just for him, and that's what put Michael Jordan into being like a billionaire or whatever. It's like, so these type of deals are very important how you structure them. You hear all these things about these bands growing up in the 90s and 2000s that got screwed over on record deals, and they make documentaries about it, how you could think of any band that they were famous worldwide and touring, yet their managers and attorneys and basically record labels were making the bulk of the money, and they're out there working for peanuts. And you think, so anyways, I could tell 100 stories, but I will, if you want me to, let me know in the comments below. I could tell some pretty powerful stories that make your brain see how important this is. But let's say a brand comes to you, you're busting your ass in your social media, you got 10,000 followers, and a brand comes to you and wants to partner with you, and they offer you a deal that's so lowball and so cheap that even though you want to take the deal, you know in your heart that you're like, this is like really cheap. Why would I promote this brand all over my social media? If you feel it in your gut. Now, first of all, it's an honor and a privilege to even be able to participate and do this and have people reaching out to you. That means you're doing a great job, right? But it also attracts sometimes vultures. So I have 2 to 3 brands a day messaging me, which is sometimes 60 to 70 brands a month will message me at times wanting something. And so it's become frustrating, but I'll get back to the point. So you take the brand deal on anyways, and you do it, and it turns out to be just like you thought. You do a bunch of work for very low payment, or any payment at all, and then you're frustrated and you feel stuck. Like, that's the way this works, huh? Well, that's all that I'm gonna get. Well, if you negotiate and don't negotiate against yourself and negotiate for your best interest, you can actually learn that they do have more of a budget. They just weren't willing to tell you about it. They're not just going to come out and tell you. Just like in running any type of business, I run a landscaping window cleaning service business. So it's still a negotiation. It's an adversarial type of exchange at some level, but you come in at a higher level. I can make 10 videos about this. So here's the point. That same brand will come back to you a year later. This is all stuff that's happened to me. And by this year later, your social media has doubled in size. You're cranking along. You might have 20, 30,000 followers, and you're putting out consistent content, and your stuff is valuable. They come back to you again a year later to want to do another deal with you. And this time it's maybe for a little bit more compensation, and it's still a bogus deal. By this time, you should be charging double, right? And then so it doesn't work. You might turn them down. Or you might suggest that you want compensation that's fair to you, but it's way too expensive for them. Fine, whatever. Then they'll come back to you a year later and want to do a deal again, and this time your social media is quadrupled in size, right? And they're still offering you a deal that's so cheap and so bogus that it feels disrespectful. Then they'll come back to you again. They'll come back to you every year. Hey, can I take advantage of you now? You know, you didn't like that last year. Maybe this year, maybe I could take advantage of you this year. Are you dumb enough this year to promote my brand all over your social media and me not compensate you fairly at all for all of your hard work and likeness and image and everything that you put together, and all these people that follow your word? Do you get what I'm saying here? Here's my point. Just because, don't let one bad apple spoil the bunch. Continue to stay strong. Keep negotiating for your own best interests. And a deal will come along that makes sense for you and the brand, and you'll work together, and it'll be long term, and you'll make a lot of money together and help a lot of people, and it'll be great. How would you like that? So sometimes you got to go through several no's to get to the yeses, but don't let the no's discourage you. Because they have discouraged me in the past to the point where a brand will reach out to me that's just being genuine. And I'll, in my mind and my emotions, I'm like, screw them, they're just trying to take advantage of me. I'm sick of all these Whoa. No. That was one brand that said that to you. So you have to start looking at this and get rid of the emotion and look at it as data. So there's a higher thought form, a higher consciousness that you now become social media influencer / attorney, contract lawyer / negotiator / understanding your value and your worth. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And so it takes you putting your emotions to the side and being a professional here. And that's how you'll start getting some deals and get some money rolling in. And you might get deals where you're getting, I don't think you're ever getting overpaid because you're worth unlimited. If frickin' Michael Jordan can make $1 billion, of course he's the best basketball player in the world. But he does one thing, he plays basketball amazing. And he has a gigantic audience. Or it did, right? You could say of any of these people. If you have a gigantic audience, then yes. So you have to calibrate to where you're at and what your worth really is in the marketplace, right? But sometimes you can get so good at this stuff that you might structure a deal where you feel stressed because you're like, whoa, I structured this deal to me getting paid, but I really want to get paid in my heart, but it's not churning out enough sales for them fast enough. Well, you can also consult them and figure out why it's not working. But you have to put up front that you're not totally responsible for whether if it creates sales or not. You can't actually control that. You can influence, right? But still your likeness and images and your brand campaign and you being a thought leader and talking about their brand has tons of residual evergreen value. Brands pay for branding to just put it all over the place. That doesn't even convert. It's called brand awareness. If that's part of the campaign, brand awareness or clicks and conversions, so you get really specific about this stuff and what it means, and don't beat yourself up when I'm coaching myself right now. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't convert into sales right away because you might have created a ton of brand awareness. I gotta go. I gotta add this to this contract I'm creating right now. I gotta go. Brand awareness. This is great.